We hear about fusion energy all the time, this promise of clean, limitless power. But what if the key to unlocking it isn't about more brute force, but about a more elegant design? Let's get into this, because it turns out the universe itself, from swirling galaxies all the way down to spinning atoms, already has a favorite shape for stable energy, the torus. It's basically a donut, a self-renewing loop, and understanding this simple shape might just change everything.
So what we're looking at here is a tale of two geometries, a real clash of ideas. On one hand, you have the way we've been doing things, with reactors like the tokamak. That's all about building a magnetic cage and constantly fighting nature, fighting entropy. On the other hand, you have this new idea, geometric fusion. And the whole philosophy there is to work with nature, to create a natural, continuous flow. It's the difference between trying to hold water in a clenched fist versus just letting it flow in a riverbed.
Okay, so to really get why this is such a game changer, let's look at the problem with the current approach. Conventional tokamaks are all built around this solid central column, this spine, and they use it to try and force superhot plasma into a shape it absolutely does not want to be in. The plasma is always trying to escape, which creates this constant battle, a geometry of resistance.
And the main culprit here? It's something called the central solenoid. Just picture a massive electromagnet running right down the middle of the donut, filling in the hole. Now, it's essential for getting the plasma going, but it's also a giant roadblock. It physically obstructs the natural flow of the magnetic fields and, get this, it can only operate in short pulses, on, off, on, off. You can't run a city on that. It's the central engineering headache.
So we keep trying to build stronger and stronger cages, but what if that's the wrong approach entirely? This new concept just throws that idea out the window and reframes the whole problem by asking a really simple but incredibly powerful question.
And here it is. This is the question that changes everything. What if we just stopped fighting? What if, instead of using all this brute force, we designed a shape that lets the energy guide itself into a stable pattern? It's such a simple idea, but it leads to this profound shift in how you tackle the problem.
And the solution is, honestly, so elegant. You just open up the middle. You take out about a third of that central column, creating what they call an axial throat. And that empty space, that's not wasted space. That is the absolute key to the whole thing. It's the pathway that lets the magnetic field and the plasma finally complete their natural circuit. This one simple change, just opening that throat, has this incredible domino effect. It completely transforms how everything behaves inside the reactor. It allows the plasma and the magnetic fields to just naturally fall into this incredibly stable, self-reinforcing pattern. So let's see how that works. All right, quick physics breakdown. I promise it's painless. Inside a fusion reactor, you've got two main magnetic fields you have to manage. You've got the toroidal field. Think of that like lines of latitude on a globe wrapping around the long way. Then you have the poloidal field, which is like a powerful whirlpool spinning vertically through the center. Now, in a normal tokamak, these two are in a constant tug-of-war. But with an open core, something almost magical happens. Let's just follow the plasma for a second. It's zipping around the ring, but instead of hitting that solid wall in the middle, it flows right into the open throat. And as it passes through, those two fields that were fighting before, they don't fight anymore. They actually twist together. They braid cleanly into a perfect, stable vortex. And then the plasma just reemerges on the other side to continue its seamless, unbroken loop. And the result is, well, it's just beautiful. It creates a shape like a figure 8, or an infinity symbol standing on its end. The plasma becomes this single, coherent, spinning loop that contains itself. The energy isn't being trapped anymore, it's just circulating. The source material put it perfectly. The reactor literally breathes energy. And once you achieve this elegant flow, you unlock this incredible cascade of benefits. It turns out that by solving the one big geometry problem, you accidentally solve a dozen other massive engineering and safety problems at the same time. I mean, the results are an absolute game changer. Plasma turbulence, it plummets. You get a continuous current, no more pulsing. Maintenance gets way, way simpler because you've gotten rid of that giant central component. You also get symmetric heat exhaust, which for engineers is a huge win. And there's even the potential for converting the energy directly to electricity. But maybe the most dramatic improvement of all is safety. If a traditional tokamak fails, the plasma slams into the walls in what's called a catastrophic disruption. It's violent. Think of a balloon popping. In the open core design, if there's a failure, the vortex just gently unwinds. It collapses harmlessly into the vacuum. It's like watching a whirlpool in a sink just fade away. The elegant design is also an inherently safe design.
So when you step back, you realize this isn't just a cleverer machine. It's a fundamentally different philosophy. It's a whole new way of thinking about how we control immense energy, shifting from a mindset of opposition to one of cooperation.
The core concept is something they call resonance over resistance. Instead of constantly fighting to contain the plasma, you create a system where the plasma's own natural flow actually reinforces the magnetic field holding it. The plasma and its container start to sing in tune, creating this beautiful, self-balancing harmony. The system holds itself together.
And I think this quote from the source material just perfectly captures the soul of this idea. It suggests that for decades, we might have been solving the wrong problem entirely. The goal wasn't to build a perfect cage, it was to create a perfect circuit. The solution to fusion was not infinite confinement at all, but infinite connection, a ring with an open heart.
Which leaves us with a final, really big thought, one that goes way beyond fusion. In our quest for technological solutions, have we been too focused on overpowering nature, on brute force? Maybe the next great leaps forward won't come from applying more force, but from finding a more elegant, more harmonious design that works with the universe, not against it.